The play. "What's in a name?" she says, and then she sighs and clasps her little hands and rolls her eyes. "A rose," she says, "be any other name, would smell the same. Oh, wherefore art you Romeo, young sir? Chuck your old pot and change your moniker." Doreen and me, we've been to see a show, the swell $2 touch, bong tong, you know, a chair apiece with velvet on the seat, a slap-up treat. The drama's writ be Shakespeare years ago about a balmy goat called Romeo. "Lady, beyond the moon, I swear," says he, and then he climbs up on the balcony, and there they smooge a treat with pretty words like two lovebirds. I nudge Doreen. She whispers, "Ain't it grand?" Her eyes are shining, and I squeeze her hand. "What's in a name?" she says. "'Struth, I don't know. Billo is just as good as Romeo. She may be Juliet or Juliet. He loves her yet. If she's the tart he wants, then she's his queen. Names never count. But, I like Doreen. A sweeter, dearer sound I never heard. There's music hangs around that little word, Doreen. But what was this I starts to say about the play? I'm off my beat. But when a bloke's in love, his thoughts turns her way like a omen dove. This Romeo, he's lurking with a crew, a dead tough crowd of crooks called Montague. His cliners push, what's nicknamed Capulet, they has 'em set. Fair narcs they are, just like them backstreet cliques, except they fights with skewers, stead of bricks. What's in a name? What's in a string of words? They scraps in old Verona with their swords and never give a bloke a stray dog's chance, and that's romance. But when they deals it out with bricks and boots and little lawn, they're low-degraded brutes. What's just plain stoush with us right here today is valour, if you're far enough away. Sometimes some writer bloke will do the trick with Ginger Mick of Spadger's Lane. He'll be a Romeo when he's been dead 500 years or so. Fair Juliet, she gives her boy the tip. She says, "Don't sling that crowd of mine no lip, and if you run agin a Capulet, just do again." He swears he's done with lash. He'll chuck it clean, same as I done when I first met Doreen. They smooged some more at that. Strike me blue, it'd give me joes just to sit and watch them two. He'd break away and start to say goodbye, and then she'd sigh, "Oh, Romeo," and get a strangle halt and hang around him like she'd feared he'd bolt. Next day, he words a gospel cove about a secret wedding, and they plan it out. He spouts a piece about how he's bewitched. Then they get hitched. Now, here's the place where I fear get the pip. She's his for keeps, and yet he lets her slip. But he makes me sick, a fair gazob. He's just a glassy on the soulful sob. He'll sigh and spruik a howl, a lovesick vow, the silly cow. But when he's got her spliced and on the straight, he crawls the pitch and tries to kid it's fate. Fate me foot. Instead of sloping soon as he's wed off on his honeymoon, him and his cobber called Mick Curio, they have to go and mix it with that push of Capulets. They look for trouble, and it's what they gets. A toad named Tyball, cousin to the skirt, sprags 'em and makes a start to sling off dirt. Next minute, there's a real old ding-dong go, half a round or so. Mick Curio, he gets it in the neck. Rats, he says, and passes in his check. Quite natural, Romeo gets wet as hell. "It's me or you," he howls, and, with a yell, plunks Tyball through the gizzard with his sword. How I encored. "Put in the boot," I says, "put in the boot." "Hush," says Doreen. "Shame," says some silly coot. Then Romeo, he don't know what to do. The cops gets busy like they always do and nose around until he gets blue funk and does a bunk. They wants his start to wed some other guy. Strike, she says, "I wish that I could die." Now, this here gospel bloke's a fair shrewd head. Says he, "I'll dope you so they'll think you're dead." I tips he was a cunning sort what knew a thing or two. She takes his knockout drops up in a room, they think she's snuffed, and plant her in a tomb. Then things gets mixed a treat and starts to whirl. Here's Romeo comes back and finds his girl tucked in her little coffin, cold and stiff, and in a jiff he swallows Lysol, throws a fancy fit, head over turkey, and his soul has flit. Then Juliet wakes up and sees him there, turns on the waterworks and tears her hair. "Dear love," she says, "I cannot live alone." And with a moan, she grabs his pocket knife and ends her cares.
"Peanuts or lollies?"
says a boy upstairs.